Thank you for taking time out with Premier Sports Officials Association. This week we are preparing for quarterfinal playoffs here in the state of Nebraska and Week 10 training tape, which will be our last training tape. Main focus is how to prepare for not only a playoff game, but any game. So Premier Sports Officials Association has 5 crews working this week. The Walter Durston crew, Tim Arndt crew, Jason Ford crew, and Lance Clark's crew, along with my crew. All were selected to work a quarterfinal game this week. And this week's training tape will focus on how should a crew use film to prepare for the next week's game. So I found games for the 2 teams that we're going to be officiating this upcoming Friday, and hopefully find clips and use clips and explain why I use these clips to send out to my crew and then to have pregame conversation before the game. But I look for certain player number information, right-footed, left-footed, right thrower, left thrower, tendencies of how long of a punt / kickoff. What is the tendencies of the offense? Are they looking to run? Are they looking to pass? Do they have a star receiver that they're using certain plays or situations to get one-on-one coverage? The more scouting we do of the opposing team when it comes to a 3rd and short, 4th and short, or a certain formation, if we know what to look for and what the teams are trying to do, we're more likely to be in position and set to rule on a play. And this point of the season, every play can make a difference in win or loss. And whoever wins continues. Whoever loses, their season is over. So we do not want to be an impact on that negatively. We just want to be an impact on it. We are in position to make a correct judgment on the task at hand. So with no further ado, this is a game film of one of the teams we'll be officiating this week. As I go through the game film, I look for formations in place. So this one, I'm looking for the quarterback number. Is the quarterback right-handed, left-handed? And what is the quarterback threats? And what we mean by threats, is he looking to pass first? Is he looking to run first? Is he able to pass far, short? And when he does run, does he have speed? And is he looking to gain yards, or is he just looking to make the most of what he can out of that play? So this one, quarterback number, quarterback throwing hand, and quarterback threats. What are they able to do? As we play it out, it looks like he's a right-handed quarterback. Don't know that for sure. He didn't throw it. All right. But I definitely know he's a good scrambler. All right. So number 11 can be a good runner. So me, maybe stretch a little bit more. Be ready to run sideline to sideline with him, because referees, as that quarterback goes to the sideline, either one, we are responsible for that quarterback. So we want to be able to run the field, follow him into the sideline, especially when it's the opponent's sideline, to make sure nothing is said or done between the quarterback and opponents. All right, second clip. All right, so we have a field goal. All right, so I want to get the place kicker holder's number. I want to get the kicking foot and the holder's number. Again, when your crew uses 020 and they're in that no man's land, all right, such as this one right here, it's 4th and 2. The quicker we recognize field goal versus scrimmage play, the quicker we could get into position as a crew to officiate the play. All right, so when we see the kicker come off the sideline, we could communicate to the crew, kicker's on the field. Kicker and holder coming off the sideline, now we definitely know we have a kicking situation. So we are actually moving into position as the players are moving into position. All right, so we have a left-footed kicker, so I have to be prepared to be on that side of the field. All right, so holder is number 4, kicker is left-footed, and number 8. All right, so in the 4th down situations this upcoming Friday, I'm going to be looking for number 4 and number 8. I see them coming onto the field. I'm going to come to that kicker's open side. I'm going to move my line of scrimmage that has their back, my back, move them underneath the field goal post. That way we're able to get in position, count 11, do our pre-snap routine efficiently. Next play is free kick. All right, so I'm looking at kicker number. So if we have a free kick out of bounds, easy to announce. How far off the line is that kicker? Are they inside the 5-yard belt? That will raise red flags of, hey, they might have some special plays of different people will kick it off. But nope, I know this kicker is well beyond 5 yards, so he's the only one that can kick the ball. And then I also take a look at how far, how deep does this kicker go? So I'm ready to roll on touchback, no touchback. All right, so this kicker kicks it pretty deep. All right, so good leg. So I have to be prepared to work that whole goal line to roll on touchback and no touchback. As I watch game film to prepare for the team, I also try to look at mechanics of other crews. We'll have some rule reminders. We'll have some mechanic reminders. All right, so this is reminding me we have 2 officials winding the clock. So that means we have 2 officials watching the ball. Especially in high school five-person crew, we don't want 2 officials watching the ball because that ball's not going to foul. That receiver's not going to foul. We only need 1 official watching for that fair catch signal, watching for a touchback. So if both officials are winding the clock, both officials are watching that ball instead of blockers. So only wind the clock if that ball is first touched in your area. If that ball's not going to be first touched in your area of responsibility, watch those blockers coming downfield. All right, so now this is going to go more into another situation, but I don't really focus on the kickers here of how they're going to cover the free kick, but on kickoffs, we do want to know how those returners are returning the ball. All right, so this is an example of mechanic reminders. All right, so I'm going to explain to my crew, hey guys, if it's 3rd and short, but we're inside the 10, so we're actually supposed to be doing 2 things right now. We have to get ahead of the ball at the snap because we're snapping inside the 10, but we also want to get to the line to gain. And a third mechanic, if that goal line will be threatened, we need to stay ahead of the ball. All right, so wing officials, mechanic reminder, when you have the line to gain and goal line responsibilities, after the snap, get to the line to gain first. All right, so we are going to get ahead of the ball at the snap. We're going to get to the line to gain. And then once they achieve the line to gain, or you know they're going to achieve the line to gain, then keep on going beyond the line to gain to the goal line. All right, so when you have a double line to gain, and goal line responsibilities, you're going to stop at the line to gain first. Once that's achieved, then get to the goal line. Now, we only have 1 line to worry about. All right, we have the goal line to worry about. We're snapping at the 5 and in at the snap. Short wings. Get to the goal line, and not only getting to the goal line, but remember, when the ball carrier's coming to the goal line, you want to get off the field so you're not near that pylon. All right, so the back side of the red on both sides is the ideal spot at the snap for the short wings to get to. So as we play this out, we have the wing officials staying at the line of scrimmage. We want to get ahead of that play. Get to that goal line, off the field, 2 to 3 yards, so when that ball carrier is coming to us, we're not moving. We're not worried about our safety. Our eyes are set, and all we are focusing on is the blocks in front of that ball carrier, and does that ball carrier get the point of the football to that goal line prior to a body part getting down. All right, so next thing I'm looking at here. So the team I'm going to be officiating this week, they're on defense. How are they bringing field goal pressure? All right, 5-person crew, my eyes can't be on 3 different places. All right, so are they going to bring some more outside edge? If they're bringing outside edge, I'm going to be watching these wingbacks for holding, hook and turn. Are they inside pressure? If they're inside pressure, I'm going to be helping the umpire with a pull and shoot. I am going to be focused more on the inside for a holding takedown by the offense. All right, so I'm not only getting kicker holder, I'm also, what is the tendency of this field goal block alignment? So when I'm on the field here on Friday, I know where to start my eyes. So there was not a lot of pressure on the outside, as they didn't start wide and they're not using their speed to get around those wing backs. Rather, there was a big push up front. All right, so we have a defensive lineman that beat that offensive lineman. All right, so I need to make sure his teammate didn't open up a hole for him, which is the pull and shoot. All right, so I'm going to put that little note in my brain. So when they are on field goal block, where am I going to start my eyes to be most beneficial of catching something illegal? Next up is kickoff return. All right. So what I'm looking for kickoff return here is, what is the return team trying to do? What's their scheme? Are they strong right, strong left? Are they going to be blocking up the middle? All right, so here it looks like they're blocking up the middle. All right, so when that team is returning, I am going to have my eyes up the middle of the field trying to watch those first three blockers of the shield, right? Versus if it was an outside return, now my umpire, my line of scrimmage officials, they really have to focus on those outside three blockers for that point of attack. All right, so we don't want to miss a point of attack offensive hold during the return. And what helps prevent that is, what is their scheme? Let's start our eyes there first. So in this case, this team is running middle. My eyes are going to start in the middle blockers first. Once we get through the first team, now we're going to find game film of the second team and go through the whole process all over again. All right, so first off, kickoff return blocking scheme. All right, so I have both teams now with the scheme of, we're going to try to create a wedge. We're going to try to create an opening up the middle of the field. All right, we weren't the outside edge scheme. All right, so that's going to be consistent for me and my crew this upcoming Friday. We're going to be looking at those middle blockers to making sure there's no open field tackle holds there first. Rather, if it was a different scheme of outside, my eyes would look for that outside blocker first and not so much up the middle. All right, so now we have it. This is the very first scrimmage play. Again, I'm getting my quarterback's number. I'm going to see which hand is he throwing with and what skills does he show me of what he's looking to do. A little advance. I have a little card where everything I'm going through here on film, quarterback, right-handed, number 11, I'll go to the school website, get his name. So that way when I first meet him, whether it's pregame or first possession of the game, I'm going to call him by his first name. And that quarterback's going to be like, how did he know my name? Because I took the 30 minutes of preparation to fill out this card to get to know the players and coaches that I'm going to be working for. All right, so this is the very first play on offense for this team. He didn't even look to pass. He was runner first, and not only was he runner first, he was good at it, and he seeked out contact. He wasn't a passer. He was a ball carrier. He was looking to run over somebody. All right, so I now know his mindset. All right, so that's going to help me, again, officiate. He's not going to slow up at the sideline. He's going to lower his shoulder, go for that extra yard, all right, which is going to change my threshold for a late hit out of bounds, because the scout defense is going to see the same exact play, and that coach is going to say, you better hit that ball carrier as hard and as quickly as you can, and don't give up, because he's not going to give up. All right, so I have number 11, and it looks like he likes to run the football and create the contact on the defense. All right, so here's his first pass play. Not a bad arm. All right, so now I know he's right-handed, and I know he could throw the ball downfield pretty well. All right, so that's going to tell my back judges, my line of scrimmage officials, hey, we have a passer that could air it out a little bit. So if your key goes 10 yards or more, start working downfield. Back judges, these are going to be long routes. Make sure nobody gets behind you because this quarterback has an arm strong enough to open up the field. All right, rule reminder. All right, again, as we're watching other games, rules are going to come up. So all substitutes must come inside the 9-yard mark to be eligible to play. All right, so the rule is 7-2-1. We're going to talk about the rule and intent of the rule. All right, so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 offensive players. Where's the 11th offensive player? Here he comes. All right, so now the 9-yard mark on the field is the top of the numbers. All right, so number 13 never got inside the 9-yard mark on top of the numbers. This is illegal formation. Result of the play, scoring play. So rulebook, illegal formation, 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, 2nd and 14 at the B18. Clock will start on the snap since it's a scoring play. All right, so what official will most likely get this, should get this, is the line judge. All right, so line judge, this is your sideline. You're not going to know if the players are 10 because you're not counting 11 players. But you're definitely going to have the information that he never got inside the 9-yard marks. All right. When we talk about intent of the rule and the actual rule, let's say number 13 didn't get this far onto the field, but number 13 instead just got near the sideline. We call it the hideout play. Now, that's a whole different rule. That is an action that would deceive the opponent, and that would be a 15-yard penalty. Obviously, number 13 did not deceive the defense. The defense sees it, picks it up, and they're in position for the play. But the offense did gain an advantage. From the moment that the offense lined up in position, they are communicating. They are talking of who's responsible for what. And with this offense coming in, not becoming a legal player inside the 9-yard marks, responsibilities will differentiate. So we need to get this as a foul for illegal formation. That offense has to be responsible to declare what 11 players are going to play in that play, in what formation, so the defense has enough time to react and communicate of everybody's role and responsibility on that play. So this is not a hideout play. This is not unsportsmanlike conduct. This is just an illegal formation. Not all 11 players got inside the 9-yard mark prior to the snap. Same thing with my second team. I'm going to get the kicker. Kicker's number is 33. He's right-footed. And we didn't talk about this on the first clip, but I always take a look at the holder. Does the holder get a knee down on the ground? In NFHS rules, to be in scrimmage kick formation, that holder has to be 7 yards off. You have to have a kicker 3 yards back, so 10 yards off. And that holder's knee has to be on the ground. All right, that's what allows now this snapper protection. If that holder's knee is not on the ground, snappers lose the protection, but now the holder could throw a pass forward or backwards immediately. They don't have to take the knee off the ground. All right, so that's the give and take. All right, with this holder's knee on the ground, this holder cannot throw a forward or backwards pass, but the snapper gets protection. We're in scrimmage kick formation. If this holder's knee is off the ground, they can throw a forward or backwards pass, but the offense loses snapper protection. All right, so good thing to talk about. Not only am I using this game film, who my kicker holder is, Also, are they in legal scrimmage kick formation? What can the kicker holder do without taking or moving the knee? And does that snapper get protection? All right, second team, kickoff. Kicker's number, formation, leg strength. All right, so now the last team had a 5-5 alignment. This team has a 6-4, and the ball's on this hash mark. So that is telling me they're trying to kick the ball onto the press box side of the field. All right, so I'm aware of that. That's where my eyes are going to go a little bit more. A 6-4 formation is going to be different than a 5-5 formation. The other thing, just like the last team, where is this kicker? This kicker is near the 5-yard belt. He is still behind it. All right, so he is the only one in this formation that can legally kick the ball. But I'm thinking in my head, will they have plays in their playbook where number 50 will kick it, and they're going to have that kicker inside the 5-yard belt? They're a lot closer to that 5-yard belt than the opponent. All right, so this is an average leg, so I'm probably not thinking about touchbacks, which is probably why they have the kicker kicking it to the closed side of the field. His leg is not as strong, so we're going to limit the green space and get our kickoff returners down there to cover the field quicker, because that ball's not going to be up in the air as long. All right, we did not have a punt on the opponent in the other game, so I'm going in blind into this game on punts. But I do have a punt return for this game. All right, so what am I getting here? What type of punt are they doing? Are they trying to block it more often than not? Or are they trying to set up a return? What are the returner numbers? So now my back judge could go up to those numbers before the game and show them what a fair catch signal is. Again, it's preventive officiating. The more we know, the more we could communicate, the more we could prepare ourselves and the opponent, the teams, to do it correctly. All right, so in this case, number 27 and 88 are receivers. So they have a 2-receiver back. We have a fair catch. All right, and we have the tendency of they're looking to block the punt. All right, with them looking to block the punt, they don't have nearly as much coverage to block, so they're going to fair catch. So guess what rule we're going to talk about as a crew in our pregame? Fair catch. What is a fair catch signal? What's an invalid signal? Who's protected on a fair catch situation? Who's not protected? And how long is that receiver protected for in high school when it comes to a fair catch signal? And I say this because here's the next play, next punt. We have a fair catch signal. We have the team we're going to officiate trying to block the punt again. Uh-oh, now we have a muff. All right, so number 3 and number 54 on the kicking team there, they could have contacted that receiver as soon as that ball was muffed and or hits the ground. So high school rule, we have a fair catch signal, one arm above the head, a wave back and forth. That receiver is awarded protection, unimpeded opportunity to catch that kick until that ball is muffed. So let's say that ball muffed right now and it's up into the air. That opportunity to catch that kick in high school is gone. So number 3 and number 54 can legally tackle that receiver. They could legally now catch that kick because it was touched and muffed. Number 3 and number 54 right now, they could legally go after that ball because it was touched and muffed. All right, so the fair catch signal in high school does not give the receivers no contact whatsoever once they touch it and muff it, or once that ball is touched and hits the ground, that protection is gone. All right, so we're going to talk about that as a crew, and it was with this film review, looking at the game film prior to us working these two teams, that's going to help us mentally prepare not only mechanic reminders, reminders, but who are the players that we need to meet before the game? Numbers. Who are the players that are going to change our positioning and mechanics? Passer, kicker. The more we know going into a game, the quicker we could respond to a situation and more time we have to get into position and start thinking, all right, this is what the team tried to do last week. This is what happened last week with this team. And the less we're surprised, I said it in training tapes before, the less we are surprised, the less mistakes we will make. All right, so that's the training tape this week. It was sort of motivated by another official. You know, he's saying, I'm staying in the rule book. I'm staying in the case book. I'm really focused on whenever I get my next game. Well, the next game is here. All right, so now that we know what game we are working, let's take time this week. It's about 10 plays from each team from the previous week. Free kick, punt return, a punt that they're kicking the ball away, free kick return, a scrimmage kick. And what type of offense is that team trying to do? Is it run first? Is it pass first? Is it 50-50? And what is that passer skills? Is there skill a runner? Is there skill an open field thrower? Is there skill of hiding the football? Are they sort of that veer offense and I'm going to hide the football and read pass option based on what the defense gives us? All right, so those are the items we want to challenge our crews who are working this week, who have the opportunity to work a semifinal next week and have the ultimate reward of working a state championship. It's about an hour looking at film, collecting the clips you want to send with your crew, and when you send them to your crew, have a purpose of why you sent that clip to your crew. Mechanics reminder, rule reminder, team tendencies, or who are the players that are going to change our mechanics in this game. Thank you for taking time out with PSOA, of watching and listening to Week 10 training tape. Once again, this is our last NFHS training tape of the season. I hope you enjoyed the 10 training tapes. Hope it helped you prepare better for the games. And we look forward to bringing these training tapes back in the 2024 season. If you are a basketball official, we are going to start our training tapes for basketball next week. So we are going to continue training tapes. It's just going to be a different sport. So next week, our training tape will be on the 7 common fouls of basketball. If you enjoy these training tapes, please like them. Please subscribe to our channel. And probably most importantly, share it with other officials. Share it with other players. Share it with other coaches. So they are getting the information and education and the dissemination of information. So yes, our judgments might be different, but at least we understand the mechanics, the rules, the philosophies to understand what the other person is seeing and judging. So we have open lines of communication, not frustration and not unsporting behavior. So thank you. Taking time out with PSOA again. Congratulations to the crews working the quarterfinals this week in Nebraska. Congratulations to the crews of working high school football during the 2023 season. I always say, you know what, we're just like bus drivers. We help the season go. Bus drivers get the teams there. Officials allow the games to happen. We're all in this together. Have a great Friday night if you have a game, and good luck to the playoff gods to see if you get a semifinal or championship game. Until the next time, officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call.